Okay, so it's 3 a.m. On Sunday. And I think right before 2025. Like I just can't even get over this 2025 thing. Which it just blows my mind. Oh, which the J6, they're going for 50B, man. And that's what it's filed for, 50B. And they and so they're the group they're suing is the DOJ. And so the DOJ has to prove why they could keep all of them detained and stuff, and they can't. So they're gonna win, but they're filing it right when the other guy is gonna go in. So they're gonna win, just like all the censorship ones. Once this starts going, it's gonna be a cascade of these a cascade. Oh yeah, I want to talk about that. A cascade of the class action suit. 100% watch and see. It's gonna be big money, man. You want to win the lottery? Well, they've done you wrong. Just keep your eyes and ears open, because they've done us all wrong. And there's gonna be, I think that is gonna be a part of the Jubilee or something. A part of putting the money back, giving back, a way to make reparations. I mean, we may have to work a little for it, but it's not gonna be a big hard stretch. I mean, it's going to be easy street, kind of, not these kind of lawsuits like fucking, like when they give you a brain injury and they make you go in there and fucking prove it, and all they do is fucking stomp all over you. Like, I hope that they have a group that's going through court cases and seeing the corruption, you know. Maybe that's going to be one too. All the people that got done dirty by the court system, line up, because yeah, it's fucking bullshit. And so let me think. Oh yeah, and they always get the 12 jury, the fallback guys. We got 12 fallback guys back here. It's not us. Yeah. Yeah, I've been there. I see it. I saw it with my own two eyes, how that thing rolls. And it's some bullshit. And I could even tell that the judge was, like, if it would have just been the judge, I think she would have 100%. She was definitely showing. It's like you could read it all over her face, or I can just read energy anyways. Oh yeah, and there's something so fucking weird with my ear right now. It's been going for a couple weeks, and I can't figure out what the fuck, man. In it, the same thing where I'll feel like there's bugs crawling around. They're crawling around and they're trying to get in my eyes, and they're not bugs. That's what's so weird. Like, it's not a bug. It's not like you can get it and go, oh, there's a bug. No, these are like nano attackers or something. They're really small or something. I'm not sure. I haven't done anything to my hair, so so that's why I say it's something that they are doing. And they literally, like, it's not in my imagination. It'll go over here, it'll go over here, and it's like you're constantly like, fucking hell. And yesterday, what was it? Was it making me think about the ears or something? Definitely the nose. They're always trying to get in all the holes. That's the thing. They're always trying to get in the holes. I don't know if it's like the heat inside of our body is like a magnet, because don't forget, these mad scientists, this is how they spend their time, is figuring this shit out. And this place is so deliberate. So, God, there's so many things rushing through my God, it's so deliberate, and they're all so good. Oh, like right now. Okay, so it's like constant fog here, and it's constant like overcast, and then the overcast is all around us, uh, and it rarely is there sky, but sometimes the overcast will break through, and you'll see this blue sky behind. And then, I mean, it's been years that I've been out there saying they're creating these little atmospheric things, because I could see it when I drove away. When I drive to town, especially driving back, it's like you see this cloud sitting right there on top of the place that you're at. You see a completely different atmosphere. And so I noticed that going and driving so much out, you know, and the distance. Most people live their lives in the city, and most people don't even look up, rarely. More people now are looking up. And so, yeah, there's a lot to see. But typically, people they don't drive outside of their little towns. That's why they've decided, to make them smaller and smaller, because they're going to push as long as we keep letting them. And that's where it's like, okay, well, now you've got, a couple city blocks. And then you got to show your papers. Because if you don't know, that's what those 15-minute things are all about. It's a containment, and it's to charge us to drive out of our neighborhoods. So, and they've got all their whole thing, their sustainability, whatever, their nonsense, their bullshit. I mean, pretty soon they'd be charging us if you took too many breaths. So, anyways, and I've got to constantly keep trying to catch mine, man. And I've got a tight wheeze. Sometimes there's one, and sometimes there's not. But when there's so much fog and rain, and yesterday I was so fucking sick. I couldn't believe it. Oh boy, I ran to that toilet yesterday when I finished. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe. Man, my stomach was so fucked, and I was like, okay. I was gonna take the bentonite clay. I remember that helped the last time. And then I took one of those bath things. Max is still doing this, like he's turning his nose up to food, then vomiting and stuff. So he's definitely being affected by these poisons. Fucking Stella, because it's raining so much. Now she's just going out and finding any place that she can find the pools of water, because she just loves it, motherfucking, the whole time on our walk. She just stops, and she's just going to drink the water no matter how many motherfucking times I tell her. So she's not feeling well for sure. It seemed like last night when she demanded to go out, and she just was staying out there. And every time I'd look, she would be peeing. And I was like, oh, great. Does she have a bladder infection? Like, how did she get that? How to be the water? I mean, no fucking reason. God, I am so sick of being poisoned all the time. I am so fucking sick of it. And then the detox bath, because I was like, whatever they're putting in us, and it can be in different areas. They're not doing the same exact thing to the whole thing. We're in petri dishes. They're doing something here, doing a little something different there, a little something here. It's like, it's how science works. It's like you do a whole bunch of different things. And, but there's a lot of things in common, but there's added features. So, and then what I have said over here is, like, I think they try more things on us because I am in a small rural place. And that's part what they do. I mean, that's just what they do. Look up how many small little towns corporations moved into and were allowed to poison the people and stuff. So this is a thing. This is like how they roll. So anyways, to me, it's just 1 + 1. It's not a big stretch. And especially when there's so many things that I've talked about, and then a couple years later, I hear all these other people talking about it. And so that's why, another thing, like, I know some people aren't paying attention and stuff, but also I know that they also start out on smaller groups and try things out and see what's going to happen. And in the past couple weeks, I have seen the sheriff, I've seen a couple ambulances go through, nothing with sirens, just going through. And I'm not sure if they're leaving a place. Well, I would think they wouldn't drive all the way out there for nothing. But definitely an increase in that. And so all these people now are talking about this weird fog that has rolled in. And everybody, all over the place, there's fog. And people are noticing that when they go outside in the fog, it makes their throat hurt and stuff. I've been saying that for so fucking long. And like, as soon as I get out there, I start feeling drugged. I start feeling weird every time. And and I don't know if it's just my hyper awareness of it. So then it makes it more in your mind. When you focus on something, it makes it way bigger. And so either you notice it more, or you, whatever, you notice it more. Fuck, man. God, I feel like it, I swear to God, it feels like I'm trying to hold my breath and go down in the pool and come back up. That is what it feels like. I swear to God, it feels like a change in pressure. Oh, yeah, and my sweaters. I have washed them 4 or 5 times now and dried them, and they are still covered with hair. Like the hair, I don't know what is going on with this static electricity or something. But anyways, it's the weirdest thing. And putting them on it makes them real like all these itchy fibers or something. Everything feels really itchy to me lately. And I think it's either the polyester fibers or if it's, because I live in a hair house, man. Or if it's the hairs and static electricity or something. I don't know. It's definitely, and then the dogs too go out and get this stuff all over their coat. So I gave each of them one of those. Stella wouldn't get in the tub. I got Archie and Max both in the tub. And, oh God, that's so funny. So funny. There's so many things that are so funny with them. And then Stella, she wouldn't get in, so she went and sat by the tub. So I just took out a whole bunch, just got her all sopping wet. And then they all ran outside in the rain. So, but anyways, I felt like at least that was in their coat to try and absorb in some detoxing or something. I also gave some horse paste to Max, because I feel like it's probably, because everything is them overriding us, if it's they're bought parasites or if it's other ones or whatever. We're all being attacked by those kinds of things, and that's why we have to keep doing all this detoxing and stuff, because all that stuff, like I said, it will clog up your filtration system, and you'll get sick and stuff. All of the sickness, and then plus so they just throw it and throw it and throw it constant. Like I was even thinking that that when I'm getting flooded with toxins or something, it could be maybe it's like the stomach flu, because my tea, because it's all detox stuff, and usually it's nothing, there's nothing, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm hit hard, like so like extreme. And so then I was thinking, I got a whole bunch of things going through my head just saying. So then I was thinking it could also be, if I looked at it from a different perspective, it also could be that I'm being flooded by the toxins, and so then the stuff has got some work to do, and it's pushing the stuff out, and it's just kind of violent. It's extreme, man, and for days. So anyways, and seeing I'm not around anybody. There's nobody here giving me the stomach flu or anything, And I mean, I don't think cookies are giving me food poisoning. I'm basically living off cookies. Every day I try and eat something. Like yesterday, it was like I had some Kaiser rolls and just put butter on them and fry them. Oh my God, they're so good. Yeah, I don't know if this is like a poor person's thing or something. I don't know, because my dad would do this all the time. My dad would make these fried bologna sandwiches, and those were good. And I know there has to be other people. I mean, there's people who like Spam and stuff. So I know there's people who, grew up like bologna and mustard, fried bologna and mustard. Good stuff, man. And I wouldn't eat it now. Now I'd be like, oh, God, I now know what bologna is. I think back then I used to say, what is this stuff? But they didn't know. And then after a while, then you start hearing what hot dogs are. And then it's like, oh, I can't eat those anymore. And then, and that's the same with bologna. It's pink goo, basically, I think. And we know what pink goo is. I've talked about that a zillion times. And so anyways, another one, though, is the hamburger buns. So they would fry the hamburger buns. And just on one side, it's like like toasting it. And oh my God, it is so good. If you've never had bread like that, even hamburger buns are good like that. I've done that before, too. But I had these Kaiser rolls that I had gotten, because always at the food bank, there's that day old bread thing. They have a whole bread section. So funny too, because sometimes you can take as much as you want, and then other times they're like, take one. And so lately it's been take one because there's like no, oh man. And everything is so empty. It is the weirdest thing how we are going through stuff and then time has been, it's like been one day. It's like, Jesus, this is crazy. How are we going through it? And we're not like, I mean, Stella's eating a lot, but still, it's like, I'm still only cooking these big stews for him every couple of days. So I don't know. It is the weirdest thing, but like my fridge and everything's empty. I'm just waiting to get to Tuesday, and then I don't even know what it's going to be like up there. That's going to be the last day of the year. And I don't know what the food situation is. I know it's not something that, to be able to depend on that. And then I'll get paid the next week. So it's the craziest thing. I cannot believe it. And then, so then I don't know if I'm going to go do a whole big, huge grocery store thing. I guess we'll just kind of see how things go. Because I want to go get a bunch of groceries, but then I also may have to do the food bank again. But then, because then I use the money, because I got the wood guy. They haven't taken out Archie's payment this month yet, so I don't know what's going on with that. But so I have his last payment, the wood guy, and then I'm going to try to pay my son-in-law the last like $1,000. That's a whole bunch. That's like all my money. So whenever I try and do that, then it's just like, well, just eat the food bank. It's not like but like I have to get butter. Like I have gone through so much butter. That is another thing too. I have gone through in the past couple weeks like 4 pounds of butter, four packages of butter, 4 things of honey, and they're not small. They're 32. I think they're 32 ounces of honey. They're big. How am I going through this much stuff and it's been like, then you're like, it's been a couple days. Like I just don't get it. It is the weirdest thing. All I just keep seeing is like reality is so different. Like so different than what we think. And so and it's like I don't know, it's like there's some kind of lesson or something. There's some reason, everything, there's a reason that you're going through things. And when I ask them, it's always things like, to see, it's, I don't know, everything is to like build your strength, build you up, to give you perspective and stuff. What was that one of things? Or something about perspective that was sticking out to me on something that I saw. It just is, I think maybe it was something I said yesterday on TikTok or something. And I don't remember what provoked me to think of this, but the people who like, this is something people need to notice in themselves, is if you tend to lean into people who agree with you. So the people who you agree with, that's how this is all like shedding, especially with the politics. Like I saw it with the whole rainbows, the whole letter thing, like all these different things. But so you lean into people who agree with you. And how it was shattering before was then people started seeing like they weren't in alignment with all these people that they thought were in their friend groups and stuff. And when things started getting more serious, when people started talking about like when some more serious issues started coming up. And so, because there's like definitely half the people think of themselves as racist and horrible and stuff like that. And then half the people think of themselves as like, not at all what they keep trying to tell us. But then these people like jump on board. Like, Crystal, you want to get pissed off about go watch that fucking documentary called Am I Racist or something. The one with that Matt Walsh did. I couldn't even believe, oh God. I couldn't believe it. It was like, are you so lost in your, are you really like this? I mean, I was just mind blown. Just go watch it for yourself and then we'll talk about it. Because I don't want to force somebody to see what I see. But oh my God. Oh my God. And so anyways, um the perspective. Okay, so the people who they get into alignment with a group of people, and so they, like, as another big thing that's gonna like shatter in this awakening part is like even this whole thing, MAGA or whatever, everything that you want to align under an umbrella. Everything is about independence. Independence is about becoming in alignment with yourself and not being dependent on other people. And I see it all fucking day long in these videos. That's probably why I was saying that, because what is that girl? Because it's just popping into my mind. Is something, because there's so many of these videos where people are always asking, what should I do? What do you think? And all this stuff. And people don't know how to just be themselves, to tune into themselves. And so, yeah, it's weird. Because I remember I was so much like that back when I was broken. I always had to ask other people's opinions. And to me, I felt like I was always trying to get a lot of different perspectives. I wanted a lot of different perspectives. It wasn't necessarily I was going to do what this person said. I just wanted to be able to see it from a lot of different perspectives. But still, I don't know, it was my mom or something, was like, you got to, figure your own thing out. But it's like, yeah, but I use all these different perspectives to try and see it in a clear way. And so anyways, that was just my own thing. But anyways, so you have all these people who are like leaning in because we're all a conspiracy theorist. We're all spiritual. We all like crystals. We all like astrology. So they like lean into the group, and the part with the agreeing with them. Okay, wait a second, because it's getting really shady. So the part with agreeing with them, because then they because it's like a dependency on these other people, and what you're looking for is being accepted or something, or trying to find themselves. Like there's a lot of it appears to be beings in development, but me, like, I know that these beings are all fully developed. Like they're way more developed than they think they are. They're not giving themselves enough credit. And so it's like way more of learning how to tune into yourself and trusting yourself and stuff. And so so anyways, this okay, yeah. Okay, so it's a dependency on other people. And so, oh yeah, okay, so the people will give the people that agree with them value. So they'll give the people they agree with value, and then they devalue the people they don't agree with. And so it's kind of like those people don't matter so much. Those people don't agree with them. And people do this like in an automatic way. I don't think people have the awareness of the things they do. And that's the thing. That's this emotional maturity, is starting to pay attention and deal with your stuff in a different way. But you got to pay attention to these things and see, because so many people close their life in to the group that agrees with them. Like everybody needs a yes man. It's just like we need each other so that we can all say, we're right and they're wrong and all of that. It's like a little group, and it's very dependent. It's easy to get to fall fall away, and a lot of people will reel themselves back in and reel themselves back in to stay on the dependency of the group saying you're okay, you're okay. And so it's a very toxic way of development. And another thing too is that when you do that, you don't put yourself in any position of challenge. And so you're not going to gain more perspective. You're not going to grow and see more. It's very much a way of limitation. And it's very much anything that you create in limitation is almost like a prison for your soul. And then so much of that, it has to do with not trusting yourself, because if somebody who you're different than, then you're going to have to use your boundaries, or you're going to have to be vulnerable, or you're going to have to say what you think, and maybe nobody else is going to agree with you. And that's a scary thing. So anyways, so many people keep themselves trapped like that. And I watch it on these videos, like creating itself, all this dependency all the time on what somebody else thinks about what you're saying, what you're doing, and all of that. And all the people who play along, like everybody is, like that's a part of our development of the way people, but this is the time in our development is when you step into your own. You step into authenticity. You step into who you've become. And everybody who you've ever met along your path, and this is lifetime after lifetime, if I'm honest, is created who you are. So who you are is you've been your interactions. It's created the person you've become. And since you aren't just a person in this life, you're a soul from many lives, just putting on a costume in this one, is that you are a developed character from all of the different interactions of all of the different people who have passed through your life, like a solar system, like the people who orbit around you, and it creates the you that you become. And so if you can't step into your own authenticity, then you question yourself and you hold yourself back, and you give yourself the feeling of you're not good enough. You're not good enough to be yourself. You got to keep being some character, some part that other people find acceptable. And so you're constantly looking for that confirmation that you're okay, you're acceptable. And so the more that you can pull free from these groups, and the more that you can be in groups that you find challenging, and you don't have to go into every fucking different one. I'm going to tell them guns a-blazing and everybody's going to listen to me. I'll set them straight. Go in listening and learning. Look at life more as like a learning kind of place. You're learning what makes them think that way. How do they think that way? What is it that they're looking at? Why do they see this and I don't see that? Go in and learn, and then it opens your picture. The picture is over here, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is such a big part of what's blowing up on the blue side, because they have been so caught in the limitations of information, and they are guns blazing all the time with thinking that they've got it all and they know it all, and they're in judgment because the rest of us are complete idiots. It's like, you don't have it all. Here's something blowing up right now. What was it? It was something on their agenda, something on that the blues used. They're going to save their reproductive rights or something like that, whatever it is. And that's, so important. Well, right now they're doing something that's going against them or something. So it's showing that was all bullshit. All the things are going to keep flipping and showing all bullshit. Like, I'm really glad that J6 is flipping, man. I think, God, that is so... I kept on thinking when all that shit was going, there would be a payday for the people who were going through that, but they had to push through, and that they are the carriers of this energy, the carriers of this information to show, when you're paying attention and you see the TRESON going on against our own people by our so-called government, that is being exposed, and the crimes and stuff against us. So all that stuff was being exposed to the people paying attention. And it will still have an aftermath. Like when that big payday goes, boy, that could be a big thing where people are like, wait, what? See, he's such a dictator. He gives his people money. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out because, yeah, you can see some things just all of a sudden just going crazy, but there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff. And this is still showing people who they are on the inside, just like those Christmas situation or these holiday situations with these moms that are, personality disorder, haven't healed, they're just stuck in their own pain and feeling rejected and abandoned in life or whatever. That they're showing these wounds, like, everybody is showing their wounds without really knowing it. Like, it's just like the veil is thin. The darkness isn't there to shadow your shadows anymore. Your shadows are being exposed. But the thing is that most of the people don't realize they're being exposed yet. That's this light. This to me is the part where the lights are flickering and then they're going to come on. But but this is the part where like people are locking in to what it is that they're going to have to heal. And such a big one is also the let me think for a second. It was like right on the tip of my tongue. And then I swear to God, that these distractions and stuff are so purposeful because it gets you out of your focus. So so reparations and money going back to people seeing the truth. Oh yeah, because the dog thing, I just can't even get over with this dog thing. Plus, man, I swear to God, if I move my head around very fast, I just see a lot of shit, man. And but just that right there, whatever that is, it looked like somebody standing there a minute ago, and there's just, and everything they camouflage. So there really is things all around us, but they camouflage. And so it's like our vibration. I don't know how it is, like that we can see things. And, but you got to learn how to trust that. You got to learn how to trust your sidewinder view, that what you're seeing is real. And it's, it's changing in the vibration or something. But anyways, so the vibration is changing and it isn't shadowing like the darkness, even though like right now it's like, oh my God, this place is hell. But but it is changing. The vibration is changing. It seems like it's so hellacious. It still is not giving people their the bush to hide behind, their the camouflage to hide behind their own all their pain and suffering. It's all showing their defects, their wounds, their scars, and they don't know it. They think they're just doing their regular thing, like I'm sure that woman, the one woman who threw away the snacks and stuff, she was way too comfortable with all the things she was doing and ridiculing that girl and stuff. I've seen too many women like that, and I've seen too many people like that. That that's there's people who are just like that, and just hateful, and just constantly putting people down and being rude and hateful, and always looking at like, oh, that's all you got? Why'd you get that color? Just that kind of like just ridiculousness. Like, why wouldn't you just go, oh, thank God you got cups, that's cute, I wouldn't have thought of that color. Like, there's a lot of, like, it's just weird. But so you could still make yourself known of like, oh, that's not the color I would have chosen, but I like the cups. So like you showing your, like if you feel like you got to really say something about the cups, try and like turn it a little bit more positive. And, but that is where you got to like stop and question yourself, because these people, they're all just like triggered, and who knows what this woman's deal is. That's the thing, is like everybody has got stuff they've got to look at. You know, all the dynamics, all the family dynamics, all the things. That's why you don't want to cut these things out of your life, because those things are showing you things that you need to work on, things that you need to heal. And so there's a reason, you know, all of these different relationships and stuff are here for us. And so, confirmation. So you got to like pay attention to how it makes you feel, how things make you feel, and then to make changes. You got to do things different. And you know, in this woman, to me, the one who threw away the snacks and stuff, she seems like the one crying too, though. All of them, a lot of people, it's going to feel like that the rugs was pulled out from under you. Like, you know, what you were doing, what you were able to get away with for so long is all of a sudden not going to work anymore. And it's going to be because people are healing, they're changing their standards, people are doing, like, it's a wave of it. And there's going to be more and more interaction that's going to be changing. The surface is changing. And so the people are going to feel the pressure. People are going to be being called out on things that they were able to get away with for decades. And so that is going to be traumatic for them. They're not going to know what to do. They're going to be confused because they think like there's nothing wrong with them. And people just don't realize how much of their pain and suffering they're hiding from, and how unhealed trauma is very toxic behaviors, and how it definitely keeps you down in your chakra, and how all this enlightenment stuff comes with you being able to move through your chakras. You can't move up through your chakras. You can't hold the pain and suffering down and move up into your heart space within your throat, your crown, and all that stuff. You can't move up there to heal that stuff when you're carrying so much pain in your root and your sacral. So you have to, in order to move up, you have to heal that stuff. You can't jump over different things. You can't skip this part to get to this part. Like, you got all these people out here trying to open their crown chakra, everybody's trying to open their third eye, and which I think you can probably open your third eye just by your third eye is open. I would say most people's third eye is open, but you have to learn how to trust what's coming through. And most people don't know how to read their own selves, to understand their own selves. They think all of their thoughts are coming from inside the house. It's like, no, it's not. And the more you hear, the more you pick up. Oh, which, by the way, remember when the redheaded filter came out, and I said, oh, watch how many redheads are going to be. Like, people have got to have noticed how many people were dyeing their hair red. I couldn't believe how many people were dyeing their hair red, but I knew that was coming because this influx of this filter, and all these girls putting on this filter and being like, oh my God, I look so good with red hair. It's like, they change your whole thing, like, So, but anyway, so everybody goes run out and does their red hair. Well, guess what filter is next? They're already on it. Like, guess what's making a comeback? We got the perms coming back. We're going curly. So that is the most toxic motherfucking chemical, I swear to God, you can put on your head. And so it's no surprise. Like, and it's so easy. Just put them out there, a filter, show them how cute they can look, make the hair look really good, get the whole thing going, and then you sold them. It's a sold deal. Everybody is running down. How about a perm? So anyways, yeah, that's the filter that's making the rounds now. So it's like, so, I mean, it's funny and not funny at the same time. It's so easy. Like, no wonder they just laugh at us and stuff. We're just so easy. But that's just, there's nothing wrong with being a simple creature. That's all we are, simple creatures. And simple creatures deserve to come out and live their simple lives and enjoy them. Like, but these people, use our simpleness against us. So, and they know how to do it. They know how to do it, boy. So, and that, yeah, I don't know. Like, people already got fucking brain cancer, worms in their brains and shit. Now they're going to put this, and they probably have developed a new perm too. They got a new one coming. just directly puts in some kind of a new toxin directly into your brain to meet up with the parasites that are in there, have a little party. That I saw this woman, and this is admirable. Like, I remember we did this. This was another shift in our holiday thing. Is then we had decided, this was just a couple years ago, as everybody's adults and the grandkids and stuff are still around and stuff. It's like, let's go create memories for Christmas. Let's go places and make memories, and that would be a better way to spend the money than just buy gifts that don't last or whatever. So anyways, this family decided they were going to do that. But then is also, this is not the time to be out there doing stuff anymore. It's like everything is going to keep going wrong, which, by the way, the subway incident, there's a whole bunch of them now. And it's not just in New York. There's girls getting set ablaze all over the place now. You gotta really be paying attention, man. Don't fall asleep in public. How are they just fucking, like, what the fuck, man? How are they just... I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this is something that's being, where, you know, they're local kind of stories or something. I don't know, because I don't watch the news, but it is, not everybody knows that this is happening in a bunch of different places. So, I mean, they've already had the punching the lady, and now it's just dosing them up, just set them ablaze. It's like, fuck, dude. You know, I watch these old movies where it's like so disrespectful towards women. And it's so crazy how these old movies, how you can just see, it's like they have these like creatures that they've created, and they've got to try and make them have morals. What are we going to do? Let's put these shows on and program them into having morals, because we can't trust them. No telling what they might do. I swear to God. I swear to God. Just watch these fucking old movies. It is so like, I think they were real worried about that we were immoral, like we were gonna just turn on them at any moment. But so then they took us from that into, well, we got to get them to sleep with everybody, which is another thing. How you can get a hep C too is same as HIV. So let's get them all to sleep around. Let's get them to get out, because they had to push us towards their fetishy lifestyle. It's just weird how it came out of this moral thing. Like, it was pushed so hard, because I knew it was pushed hard. I knew what bothered me as a kid. It was like, fuck, you can't be good enough, man. And like, everything was about church, church, church. It was so fucking much pressure. And then when I watch these old movies, and it's like, fuck, man, no wonder. But how did it switch? And it definitely had to do with the perms too, because that was during the perm era where people just went all crazy, just doing the cocaine all over the place. And now I just saw a guy talking about his cousin went out for his getting married the next day thing, went out with all his friends, you know, the night before he's getting married. And see, the bots are fucking just messing with me all the motherfucking time. And as it starts tickling around. And then, so they went out the night before and sitting at the bar. And apparently this is something that goes on at the bar all the time. This is what the guy said. People just pull out bumps at the bar. And so he thought he was getting pure, 100%, pure grade bump cocaine. So he thought he was getting the pure stuff on this celebration. And it wasn't. And so he didn't wake up, and it was, of course, laced, because that's what they're doing, because yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, fuck. It's like God, there's so much using different groups. This group uses it, God. But it's like, use the group, the CARTEL. Okay, let's just call them the drug dealers of the world. Like, they're all over there, South America, getting the plants, getting all this stuff. And so these, in legit, the CARTELs are also TERRORISTs. So it's kind of like the same groups, only in different places. And Which, interesting thing how Barack was making so many things about like taking away our rights by making it look like it wasn't like he was protecting us or whatever. But he was a boy toy in those. In the one, he grew up being a boy toy to these individuals I'm talking about. And so he was mind broken a long time ago. I was just thinking about how much that they break these people's minds and then they developed him. I don't know if it was becoming because of how he looked, that they could sell him as a sophisticated man. And then he got trained by that Chicago, what is that called? Sophisticated man. I don't know. I can't think of what it's called. But anyways, so he was trained by a guy. That guy's come out and said, that was a few years ago. I heard that. But anyways, but he was like a boy toy just passed around with all these men of this organization. And so how it's used though, so over here they get us all, these guys are it's the same way as the Spawn Ranch, man. It's just a bigger scale. So they use the the drug infiltration into the city, direct them into certain places that they want to create ghettos and hostility and territories and all that stuff. So there's a direction of where things go. Like you go in certain places. Even when I was going and buying drugs, like you go down to certain places, they're just right there on the corners and shit. Well, you don't go into the suburbs and then you're driving around and there's one there, But it's totally, you go into certain places because certain things are allowed in certain places and certain things aren't. And it's all, some of these people who, it depends on what level you're at in that whole selling the stuff. But some people are aware of a lot more. But there's a lot of things though where people can't say things. There's so much about people not being able to say things. This thing with, like, I don't know why this Jimmy Kimmel thing was coming in my head. Maybe because I keep seeing his Kimmel show or something. I don't know. But anyways, it was coming into my head. And the thing when Jim Carrey was on there saying about he wanted to expose the truth and all that stuff. And doing that pyramid thing with the mocking tongue. And Kimmel kept, oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But all of a sudden that came into my mind, only I could see something different. And I saw Kimmel being more of like, just because you want to go down, don't take me down with you, fucker. Like, and being real like, this is some bullshit, dude. Like, knowing the importance of shut the fuck up. And so I don't know why I could just see that. Like I could see that before, but it was really sticking out to me. Like how many of the people like know the stuff, but it's just like they just want to keep their mouth shut and just go about their business and stay low on the radar, do what they're told kind of situation. And I think they're like scared for their lives. You're scared of, these people will take out your family and stuff. I mean, right after that, his girlfriend was taken out. And then they started making him be charged in courts and stuff like that. So, yeah, and I think that was what, Jimmy was fearing. Like, one of them, the other one was like, he was sick of it. And but he didn't have the whole group being on his side. I think it's very fractured now. I think like there's the light is coming into that industry, and the dark it's like the tide is changing. And so I think that the light is coming in, and that the people who have been of the dark, their careers are going to fall apart. Probably some of them are going to be going into court cases and stuff. Like, I don't know, a lot of them, like there's been so much MK Ultra fucking mind control and stuff. Like, I don't know how it's I think it's going to be dependent on the things that you've done, I guess. I don't know, we'll see how it all plays out. But anyways, I don't know why that was popping into my mind. Now I shifted way off of over here where I was. Let me think back where I was. the light, like you can't, and you're not gonna be able, the dark isn't there to hide behind anymore. Like where he was fearful being exposed, now it is gonna be, it's like the exposing's coming, now you're gonna feel the other side of what it's like to be exposed. And so it is this shift. And so that is going to be going where there's going to be people being exposed of their whole thing has been being trying to hide. Oh yeah, that was the thing of something about the hiding. But people do the creating, and this is another thing too, is people don't realize that this creates your biases, where you think like that person's not a value because like they're blue and I'm red, and oh yeah, okay, I'm back on the drug thing. Okay, so they take these people now have developed clients basically. So this group of criminals now have gotten rich off of what this group of criminals, the three-letter angels, have allowed to go on here. And they have also participated. Like it's definitely part of the laundry system. And so because there's always payoff. Like just think back even when they were showing, oh yeah, this, oh, I gotta say this real quick. Okay, I gotta not forget this. Is okay, this I don't know. Maybe I'm off on dates or something. But so I was watching a movie yesterday. It had to be from the 40s or 50s. I don't think it was the 60s. It was definitely, I would say, late 40s or some mid range 50s. And I'd have to go look it up again and see. I think it had like Tyrone Powers in it, which I had never seen him before. Like, wow. And so then he, but in this movie, this this rich guy, okay, because it was the two secretary, it was the secretary pretending to be his secretary because all the men cheated with their secretaries and this whole thing. And so her husband goes off with his secretary and goes to work, and they have this little relationship, but it's not sexual or anything. It's very, but still the wife at home was sick of it. So she went and got a job as a secretary of this real rich guy. So, and then she's trying to hide it from her husband. So this is the movie thing. So anyways, at this one part when they go, the rich boss, her new boss, says that he wants to show her this thing. And so when they go up on this terrace and they look out, and he's like, that's the World Fair right there. What the hell? When did they really tear that shit down? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. That kind of blew my mind. Was there another World Fair after they tore the other one down? Like, I was like, what? 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 I just threw me. Okay, so anyways, so you have this group now who's been allowed to sell, and they're not going to come in with this other stuff that is doing all these people in. That's coming from the farm, the starts with the PH. And so the pure stuff, oh yeah, Breaking Bad, oh my gosh, they put everything right in front of us, a scientist in there making this stuff. That's funny too, because it was blue. That because I'm pretty sure that this stuff is blue. And so and I don't know, like, yeah, I guess if you're doing a tiny bump, but it doesn't take much to get it in there, man. It's so fucking strong. But see, that's what they're doing in those labs, is like not just making little bots to get in this. They could make things so, make it powerful and make it small. Which, that could even be some of their little creatures up in the trees. Because they could have little creatures out here running around chasing us. I swear to God. Every time I go get water, I always think there's fucking going to be a dinosaur that's going to come get me. So, anyways, you got this group who have got customers. So they're not going to destroy their customers, but this other group who is out to destroy the world and to take us all out, who want to reduce the population, that those people. So see, they let these people come in and do all this work. Then once the starts going, then they've got the scapegoat. So it's them. But really, we're not looking in the right direction because it's them. It's the PHARM. So so the 3-letter agencies are kind of infiltrating. So they let these people come in with this stuff. Now they're infiltrating to use these people to write off the back. So it makes it look like these people are taking people out, but it's really these people who are taking people out. So if you see what I'm saying. So these people, the CARTLs, are being used by these other agencies, which is all going to blow up. Like, it can't go on like this. It's all going to blow the fuck up because even I don't know, it was like 6 months ago or a year ago or sometime, lost in this weird time, there was the CARTL put out a message and said, stop killing our clients. And so, yeah, it was pretty clear that they weren't involved in this, but you can see how this group works. And there's so much about testing and testing and testing on us. I keep seeing more things about that too. Like, they've been doing testing on us this whole motherfucking time. Like, this isn't something new. This isn't like all of a sudden, oh, these weirdos are doing it. No, this is old. And this has been going on our whole lives. These are just people who became sellouts and went in because out of their own fear or something, instead of but really, I mean, in all honesty, even when there was whistleblowers, what did people do? Most people thought they were crazy. I mean, even when Snowden was out there saying stuff, so many people just thought he was crazy, he should go to jail and stuff like that. And it's like, you're not listening to what he's saying or something. And also, that's the thing with Assange. Is that his name? Assange or Assange? Same thing with him. So these people who have come out and said things, there's repercussions. So, but now, see, the energy is changing. The energy is changing. That there's no place to hide anymore with your deceit. Your broken parts are going to show up. And that's why you got to kind of be ahead of the curve, working on yourself, being aware of yourself. And like I was going to say, with the prison system that you can create for yourself, because it is a prison system when you surround yourself with people that you just think are in alignment with you. And then how's anybody going out of that? Everybody just stays contained. And you want to be around people who challenge your thoughts, not fight, not argue and tell you how you need to think or look at things, but people that make you think outside the box and make you look at things different, that make you think of something you hadn't thought of before. That's what we're looking for. That's the yearning that we have, is to grow, to be comfortable in our own skin, to expand ourselves and be comfortable. And you can't be accepted if you're not going to accept yourself. So many people, they want to go out and do it backward. Everything is upside down and backward here. Everybody wants to go out and find acceptance. And if they do find acceptance, then they adhere. But they want to go out and find acceptance to accept themselves. When you really, what changes the game is when you learn to accept yourself, then you go out and you won't accept people who aren't accepting of you. So it's like setting your standard, but it's not cutting people out of your life. It is also having boundaries, but there can be less, it changes the interactions. Like, there could be less, but that doesn't mean like you cut people out of your life or something. But like going to Christmas and saying, no, I'm not going to be talked to like this. I'm going to go. And the person, continues saying, well, you're just so childish. You've got something wrong. Not taking any accountability of their own behavior. And so then setting those boundaries and walking out of that, see, that creates a limitation, but you need those limitations to set your own standard of what you will be treated as. But that doesn't mean, well, I'm not going to even go to Christmas because somebody's going to say something I don't like. I'm just going to have a friend's Christmas, and just everybody who agrees with me, we're just going to sit around and talk shit on everybody else, talk bad about our parents, talk bad about our lives and stuff. Like, that's no way to exist. But if that is how you are existing, then it's something that you need to, experience, and something you need to work through. It's something that you need to grow from. So whatever you're in, you should be able to start seeing your parameters at this point. And whatever you're in, you're there for a reason. It's not like you're in the wrong place at the wrong time or anything. It's impossible. You're always in the right place at the right time. You're always right where you're supposed to be. The people coming in are always the people that were meant to come in. It's just, that's the way it goes. No matter how people don't understand that. Life is so much more about destiny and fate and the role that you came to play than it is about, getting up in the morning and trying to force the universe to give you what you want. It is so much more about getting into the flow of life, and then being okay with your role. Just like there's so many people who are so anti being poor while they're poor, but there's so much lessons in being poor. And so you're fighting against all of these fucking the things that happen, the lessons and stuff that build you, give you more substance. They give you more skills. They give you more abilities. So you want to go through hardships because they expand you as a being. And so you don't want to cut yourself off from it. And this is a part of this society too, this very shallow society who is very much like, and we have huge amounts of people who don't give a crap about homeless people. They don't give a crap about dogs. They don't give a crap about so much stuff. They give a crap about their job, what kind of car they drive, how much money they spend on a dinner out, just weird shit that doesn't matter. But everybody's going to have to be facing themselves, see? And I just, like, this group of people that really stand out to me so much is the ones that are putting these dogs down. I just can't even believe that there is this people going into these facilities that, they have access to this medicine. So you would think that they must be some kind of a vet. They, must be some kind of veterinary experience or something. I don't think, who knows what these shelters are allowing, but there's got to be some kind of access to this potent stuff, right? And then knowing how to get it into the vein so that it works. And then when they came to do Winston, it was 3, 2. I was like, first they have to give them the stuff to relax them. So just give them a little shot, just relaxes them. Then they give them another one. I think then they put in an IV or something. Then they put in one that, it seems like they put in one that does something and put one that stops their heart or something. It just makes me so sick, man. I just like natural so much better. So anyways, the guy, so these people who are going in and doing this to all of these dogs, we're talking puppies, all these dogs like year old, 2 years old, that are healthy. There's nothing wrong with them. And they're just doing this. And then they're saying, oh, it's for space and stuff. These are government organizations that are mishandling money, as usual, and then just mad slaughter right in front of us. And we just, oh, well, that's what they got to do. It's like, no, they don't. That's not what they got to do. And all these people who are doing that, when the lights come on, oh, man, they're going to, and it's not like God himself is going to come down, but the God inside them is going to make they're going to know their pain. They're going to know what they did. They're going to feel it on such a deep level. There's so many people that are doing things that they have no idea what's about to hit them. They have no idea what it is going to feel like when they get hit with the truth, when they get hit with the light. So many people are so comfortable in the dark. They're so comfortable being so dark and in the dark and hateful and divisive, revengeful. Lots of people have a lot of severe perversions and fetishes, and all of these things are being exposed. All this stuff, like women are being like, I see all this stuff coming. These women who are going around thinking like they've got this great life, and all of a sudden all this stuff is being exposed about their husbands and stuff. I knew that was coming. Where, you know, and I knew it was like all these women who looked up to him like, oh man, they got it all going on. They're so lucky. Because that's the part that's going to be shown to us. Like, it's very superficial. It's very shallow to think, oh, she's got it all. How do you know? You're not in there living that life. You don't know. You don't know what some of these people, the stuff that they will accept for the things that they can have. I was watching this movie yesterday, and it was, it popped up on my thing. And I had a lot of interesting things. It had a lot of faults with its scripting. Like, but it had some good stuff too. But I was like, there were certain things I kept thinking were going to play out. And then they didn't. They played it out in a different kind of way. So there was some things where I like didn't see it coming or something. But so in this movie though, this woman is married to this super rich guy. I think they met in the universe. This is a English movie. So they met in uni, and she is she was a regular person, and he is super rich. And he's the only child, and so he had like a manor. He grew up on a manor, and like a Downton Abbey. Which when I was watching this, I was like, man, you get one of those houses, you don't ever get to sell it. You're pretty well stuck. Like that's your house forever. Like that's your family manor forever. So anyways, his family was rich. His dad was dead. The son is such a fucking creep. Oh my God. And the story is about murder and stuff. But the woman is, together with him, and she's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. So the whole thing, you know, you're trying to figure out like, who the killer is, what's happening, and stuff like that. And the mother-in-law, she doesn't make it, and she leaves everything to, well, she leaves the manor and the business to the son, but all of her money to the daughter-in-law. Oh my God, that son got so fucking pissed, and he was losing his mind. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you'd kind of be strapped, man. You got a business. You got to keep that business going. Or I guess you could sell it to get money. Or you got to just keep it going because you got all these employees and stuff too. So that you have to keep it going. The manor, there's nothing you could do. Like, nobody's going to come in and buy that big ass giant fucking castle of a house. I mean, maybe, but your amount of people out there that you have to choose from are, you know, a very small amount of people. And so I was like, man, that guy was screwed, but she had all the money so she could get out and leave. But I don't know if that was the part that I was thinking of. The thing was just, it was so weird with this big manor of a house where people like look at it as like, oh my God, they're so lucky. And they live like this and they live like that. And, but nothing is ever what it appears to be. Nothing ever seems, what it is. You know what I mean? Everything is a lot more different than how we see it because we're looking at things on the surface and not really experiencing it. That is the drive behind reincarnation, by the way, is the experience. So you experience the things. But, you know, there's so many different things that play out all the time. Like everything, it's like how I see it is like a thing happens and then everything tips in that direction. And that we are the everything. So all of us being the circuits or the cells of the experience then the thing knocks us all, and it's all of our where we fall and how we fall is the it's the thing that plays out. It is that's what everything is all about, is this, the things playing out. And see, we all have a different place. We're not all falling on the same place. We don't all have the same fall. We all fall different. And that is, again, back to this thing of your authenticity, or your authenticity, but your individualism, what creates you to be so unique of an individual, that you're so different because you're the only one standing in that place. You're the only one who's going to fall that way. You're the only one who's gone through these different lives with these different experiences. So you're the only one who carries the perspective that you carry. And that is what the universe depends on, is all of the difference of opinions, of all of the difference of perspectives. Because people down here, they can close themselves off perspective, but the universe doesn't. The universe is built off perspective, is based on perspective. It needs all the perspectives. We're not supposed to be melding our perspectives together. We're supposed to be able to look at a lot of different perspectives and then not be affected. Like I said, we're not here to argue and force our perspective on someone else. It's much more of, that's their perspective. Their perspective is valid. Our perspective is valid. And there's multiple perspectives over every single thing. And so there's no reason for anybody to be wrong or right, or it's this way or that way. It just is how you look at it. And the more that we can just accept that and quit trying to think like that other people have to look at things like we do or any of that stuff, because like I've said, that is like it's a deficiency. It's something that you need to grow out of. You need to be able to be strong in your own thoughts, your own desires over who you are, and not be like, well, I got to agree with them, because if I don't say, oh, that's what's important to me too, then you're, outcast. What's wrong with you? That is what happened with that letter thing. Boy, that was really falling apart there for a while. I don't know, what fracture it finds itself at this point. But geez, that really was falling apart. There were so many people turning on different people. There was like flooding into TikTok for sure. Different community, like the queers going against the trans, the lesbians going against, like, it was just like, geez. And so much falling apart on that. But everything, we are unique. We're not meant to form into groups like that. Like any group that is formed, it's got to be more of like this community, a community unity, not just a conforming to what other people want you to be so that you can be accepted by them. And so we got too much of that. That's the part that's broken. That's the part we got to break free from. But that doesn't mean like we can't have friend groups and stuff. But you just got to be able to have a lot of, it's like a diversity of opinions, of different ideas, cultures, language and stuff, well-rounded, so you're getting a lot of different ideas, a lot of different opinions, a lot of different ways of looking at things. And I heard somebody the other day make a good point about something, as so they were saying, I think because there's all this talk of the Sharia law or whatever, and it is pretty trippy when you look at the old pictures of like Iraq and Iran, and you see in the 60s and 70s, like, man, it was like Miami or something, and the people look way, way different, and girls are out in swimming suits, there's hair flowing, and people out having fun, people all in the streets having a good time and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the terror group comes in to control, contain, and then pretty soon women are completely covered. They get to have their eyeballs showing. No telling. They would probably start telling them, can't have that showing either. You can have a man walk you around and trust him. Like, who knows what the fuck, how far, people will let him push. But so The point being was that, so when these people move to other places, they're still bringing their upbringing with them. Like, just because we are raised here, and then we go, and I noticed this when I decided I was moving to England, and I got over there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, I feel like I'm in the 50s or something. It was so different than how it is in America. There was like a very much more progressive at this time. This was in the early 80s, the late 70s. And it was so much more progressive over in America than over there. It was like over there, like a woman had to be with her husband to go. Like, it was like a lot of weird shit. Where I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. And but you can't go to a place and have it change for you, but you still carry your own belief system with you. And so, there's lots of these people in these other countries and stuff that it's normal to marry 10-year-olds and stuff. Like, that is something that has just been accepted over in some of these places. And not even, I think in some of them, it's kind of like it's created. Like, they create it. Because, like, think about the LDS and how, like, what those people really, like, all this religious control, this religious sect that's always been out there trying to control us. And so those ones, because they're the same way. And so I think that, whatever has been created to accept certain things, just like in the movies now. They want us to accept all this stuff. They want us to accept eating each other. Like, that's being pushed so hard in our movies. I can't even fucking believe it. It is like, there's so much stuff. Like, it blows my mind. Like, sometimes, like, if I watch newer movies, it's just like, God, how did we get here? Like, what in the holy hell? And I'm just glad it's going to flip the other direction. Like, I really think that we're gonna not go further into, pretty soon we'll just be watching hardcore porns if it's a love story or something. They've already tried to basically push that, like, and people were all into it. I think a lot of people got into S&M or something after that one book and all those movies and stuff. It was like, I'm gonna try that. And so they always can push these things and see these dark entities or something that go around and then they filter their information, like, into our world, and then we all buy into it and jump on board. And so there was like a very perversion streak that happened. And so I think there's a lot of people, and a lot of people accept it, but I think it's going to be switching. Like, if there's going to keep being movies and stuff around, things are going to become so much more wholesome. There's going to be, I think there's going to be things like, we don't need to see that. They were pushing us to see things because they were trying to do something to us, to initiate, to get us to jump into these fetishes and stuff. So they were trying to get us to be a part of that. So that's going to be going away, all of this manipulation and stuff of our minds. And so that's going to totally change, like anything on the entertainment and stuff, as that the light, the switching from the dark to the light. So the dark is receding. So we're in the time of the dark being receding, but it's really exposing who is in the dark. Because, like I said, all the camouflage, all the bushes that people were able to hide behind are all disappearing. And so now it's going to be, you are being exposed for who you are. And you got to get comfortable with yourself. And the things that are being exposed to you, if you don't like them, you have the abilities to make changes to yourself. So you're the driver. You're the one you can steer, and your focus is this balance. It's like the merging of both sides of you. Because that's one thing, is when the light comes on and all the darkness is exposed in people, they're going to be feeling so embarrassed and so shamed. But the thing is we all have it. Don't feel I mean, healing shame is hard. So, I can't say, oh, don't feel shame is a bitch to heal. So there's going to be a lot of that. A lot of people are going to feel so much shame over things that they did or behaved or acted like or accepted and stuff like that. And so, but we have to shift out of that. And so that part of the darkness is going to hurt. And the things that people are willing to accept, because it's going to look way different in the light than it does in the dark. Everything's going to look a lot different, and everybody's going to see parts of themselves. But you just got to remember, we're all the same. We all have the dark and the light, and we all are here to find our own balance and to keep ourselves in, like keep yourself in check, to keep yourself in balance, and to pay attention to yourself. How is anything ever taken care of if it's not paid attention to? And I think that is one of the big things, is people are not in the habit of taking care of themselves. They're just trying to survive. I think that's when it boils down to. Most people are just trying to survive. They don't know what the fuck they're doing here. They don't know what happens after. They're scared shitless. They're frustrated. They are overwhelmed, and they just don't know what the fuck to do. That's what's going to be the best part about the light coming on, is people are going to all of a sudden remember who and what they are. And it's going to change the game. And so, yeah, I'm just waiting for the fucking lights to come on. But there's a lot of stuff that has to play out, because there's a lot of stuff that has to be exposed. People have to see, like, how dark it really was, and what we were really playing with, and what we were really dealing with. So all of that stuff has to keep coming to the surface, and being exposed. So we still have to go through all of this exposing, even though there's tons of people that aren't seeing it, but it's going to be there. When the lights come on, that's why it's going to be so overwhelming to them. It's like they keep themselves in the dark and not paying attention to these certain things, because they're not supposed to. I mean, they're not supposed to be paying attention. This is a part of their lessons. But when the lights come on, it's going to be like, it's going to be so full. It's going to be really overwhelming. It's going to be emotionally, there are going to be people, emotionally afflicted. They're going to be so overwhelmed and so, but that's what is the big push that's going to send humanity in this big healing journey, where we're going to completely let go of all of this darkness, and we're going to move into the light. And that is where we're going to find so much more balance and consideration and empathy and compassion and love and respect. But right now we're still breaking through. We're breaking on through to the other side, but it is that we still have this darkness that we're breaking through from. So it's still just showing so much darkness. Like, I just can't even believe these people say they care about animals. They go and they just kill all these animals all day. It's like, this is so fucking crazy. And it takes us to say, hey, this is not the way to be spending this money. There's so much better ways to be spending this money, to get dogs off the streets, to take dogs out of prisons of someone's home, put them in another one, and then say nobody wants them, so we're going to just take them out. Like, this is outrageous. It's so outrageous. And, but so many people don't pay any attention. And so anyways, that is going to be something. And all these people that are in there doing this kind of stuff, oh my gosh. Yeah, like, there is going to be some people that are going to be, they're going to be hit so hard with their darkness. There is so much people that are just carrying that darkness with them. And it's like they're holding on tight. So it's going to be extreme. It's going to be extreme. Once this thing happens, whatever's going to happen, once this flip, and there's weirder things going on now with this sky stuff too. Because now there's these like light things coming. There's all these pictures. I don't know if these are the plasmoids or what. They're definitely energy balls of some sort, and they're going over lights, and then they're like going in the lights. They're going, like, if you go out and look at these ships and stuff, they'll all of a sudden turn into this big giant thing. Like, I don't know. There's so many videos of it now. So there's definitely things happening. There's definitely changes occurring. It's not like we're completely stagnant, even though it feels like it sometimes. Like, fuck, man, how long can this go on? Oh my God, how long? Uh, but nobody showed up yesterday. And I had the curtain open low. I was trying to watch, but it was so dark and so dreary, so rainy. I was like, and it's Saturday, but I have no idea who these people are. They're showing up at my house. And, I don't know. I'm just, once shit starts going, once the banks go down, man, that is going to be one big thing. Is like once that goes and everybody's released from their loans and stuff, then, you know, that will be a big thing, because then it will be like, I don't know. I don't think that they would, if it has anything to do with the house, I don't think they would be harassing me anymore. So, and those people are all going to have their own darkness to deal with, their own things. Like everything is going, oh yeah, because the lady who went to go make the memories to go to Disneyland, and she had a 20-year-old and a 24-year-old daughter, and then her and her husband, they're waiting in line on a ride, and all of a sudden her husband starts saying he needs to get out of line, something's wrong. And they called for the medic, and he comes over, and then they do a bunch of EKGs and say he needs to go to the hospital immediately. So they take him and one of the daughters and ship him off on an ambulance real quick. And then Disneyland just told the woman, okay, well, you got to go through Frontierland, and then you got to go through this other thing, and then go get on the tram, and that will take you out to your car. They didn't even go and do any kind of customer service or anything and hurry and get her down there. She's from out of state. She doesn't even know where the fuck she's at. And her husband just gets taken off in an ambulance. And that was Disney's thing. And she said it took her so long to walk through Frontierland and get over to the tram. Then she had to wait 20 minutes to even get on the tram. And all of this stuff. Her daughter's already, he's already at the hospital. He's already out of surgery by the time she gets to the hospital. And it probably was a clogged thing, so it wasn't like, when they do those, it's, they go in and it's like it's not like surgery, but it's like considered kind of the same thing, because they're unblocking clogs. So, but anyways, and she couldn't be there, like, oh my gosh, but this is the kind of stuff that's going to keep being exposed. Like all these corporations are going to keep exposing. They don't give a fuck about us. They don't care about us at all. And they make their money through our pain and suffering. Like I say this laundry system, the center of it all goes back to this, the PHARM and the espionage and stuff. So, it's all, and all that money, all that science is all about how to destroy us. That's where all the money goes. Yep, that's where it all goes. How to destroy us. How to kill us, kidnap us, eat us. It's how to destroy mankind. But anyways, we're going to win. We're gonna win. They lose, so however it goes, I don't know if it's gonna be like a snap and all of a sudden we're in new lives, or I don't know how it's gonna go, but something's gonna go, and we are going into the light, and I think it's clear. I think you can see it clearly, but it's slow moving, slow moving. But that is one thing too, when I'm always like, slow moving motherfucking shit, man. And my guys are always like, but there's a reason. It's like if it was real quick, it would just throw people into a whole new thing. Like it would be too chaotic. So it's got to go slow, because that is the most productive way to get people to really assimilate into the new, and to really work through. And it's the best way to transition, is this slow roll rather than just this abrupt thing. But we've been going through the slow roll. There's still going to be the lights coming on. There's still going to be something that's going to be abrupt. It's just not going to feel as abrupt to everybody. It's going to feel the most abrupt to the people who have just been trying to make it in the world, just working hard, focused on, it's going to, their stuff's going to blow the fuck up. And that is going to, because everything, that's what they're here. That's what we're here for, is everything to blow up, so that we see, because we get ourselves trapped in things that aren't good for us. So it all has to blow up to get us out of it, to push us in the other direction. Because, just like when I was in number 4 marriage and I couldn't figure out, like, I was just willing to accept the bullshit. And it's like, no, you're not meant to be here and accept the bullshit. You're meant to be living different. So your world's going to fucking blow up. I wasn't meant to sit there and be a nurse, workaholic, and going to work all the time, miserable. Man, I did not like being a nurse at all. And it was just another thing where I was like, well, this is what I chose. This is what I'm doing. So I'm just going to go out there and do it. And I did not like it at all. I didn't like the bureaucracy. I didn't like the dependency that patients have on, and the crippling whininess, like, of the wanting to be babied by somebody. Somebody care about me, somebody take care of me. And then there's so many people not taking care of themselves, being dependent on a system that they think is going to save them from themselves. So anyways, it's a whole thing. So, and my stomach's growling. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm also about to take my mad dash to the bathroom as soon as this is done. So we're going to wrap this up. And I will talk to you tomorrow. But until then, remember what you're doing here is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. And I forgot, we got to look at my tooth real quick. It's looking better. Like, it's so much smaller. This, the white is definitely closing in. What they kept showing me is that the dark would start. It's not going to be like the white goes over the dark. The dark is going to come out and heal out into the light. That is like, man, this little part, it was sensitive though, is so much smaller. So, this is all real. Like, everything that they've told us is a lie, and you got to figure, it's like you're an adventurer in your own life. You're the explorer of your own life. So remember why you're exploring. What you're supposed to be doing is working on yourself. Remember to learn to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.